Okay, X-Men: The Last Stand. We actually it's the X-Men 3, but they don't call things with the numbers anymore. There seems to be a general rule that you don't say it. And there's that old thing about the Americans didn't go and see Henry V because they hadn't seen parts 1 to 4 and they didn't know what happened up until now. But playing here Horse de Competition, out of competition in Cannes, which means all the stars are in attendance, which meant that last night there was a very funny thing on television with like Sir Ian McKellen and Halle Berry and Hugh Jackman on some Euro television program like Scorchio from the Fast Show, you know, being harassed by a guy running around in a red superhero costume going, super fun, super fun, super fun, and they didn't look like they were having much super fun whatsoever. Anyway, story, such as there is one. The mutant hero is now facing the ultimate weapon in the form of a cure for their X-Men-ness, which prompts a fight between Patrick Stewart's tolerant Charles Xavier character and Sir Ian McKellen's Magneto as to whether or not they should have a war about this. It's going to take a huge amount of money, so it doesn't make any difference what I say, but for what it's worth. The X-Men franchise was originally helmed by Bryan Singer, who was something of a latter-day auteur who directed Usual Suspects. This is helmed by Brett Ratner, who is a total uber hack, whose CV includes Rush Hour and Red Dragon, which was that abominable remake of Manhunter. Apparently, Brett Ratner's first 5 features have grossed nearly $1 billion, which tells you something really unpleasant about the state of Hollywood filmmaking. As you'd expect from a movie with this much clout behind it, the special effects are big and whizzo with people sprouting wings and things going bang. But, as you'd expect from Brett Ratner, it has all the depth of a teaspoon, and despite the explosions, it managed to seem inordinately long and dragged out. Not as long and dragged out as the Da Vinci Code, but the Da Vinci Code had fewer explosions. The good stuff is it's got Famke Janssen doing a kind of Carrie impression and becoming possessed by her supernatural powers in a way which is almost borderline demonic. The bad stuff is like Halle Berry's character Storm, and her superpower is she can make the weather a bit bad, which, fine, if you live in California, a bit of bad weather must seem really scary, but for, you know, any of us who grew up in Barnet, it was a bit of bad weather, who cares? It ends up like this just big dress-up pantomime, which reminded me of Batman and Robin, which was kicked all over town by the critics, but I thought was quite funny. But this isn't actually funny. It takes itself quite seriously. It doesn't have the camp buffoonery of Batman and Robin. It certainly doesn't have the intelligence or the insight of the previous Bryan Singer movies. And it's just more of the same, and it drags on, and everything goes boom, and then it ends. And it is billed as the climax of the X-Men motion picture trilogy, and certainly, as far as the plot's concerned, it would pretty much have to be the end. But if it takes money, I wouldn't completely rule out there being an X-Men 4. I would hope that this is it now, that this is the end. But you know, never say die when it comes to that kind of bankability.
John in Pontypridd says, I'm going to see X-Men 3 tonight, and since I am a disgusting comic geek, I just need to know one thing, which will keep me happy for the next few hours. Does Iceman do an ice slide? This would make all my Spider-Man and his amazing friends' dreams come true.
Well, if he does, it didn't stick in my memory. The thing that stuck in my memory most was Vinnie Jones playing, at a real stretch, a meat-headed thug who runs through walls.